Hello there, and welcome to my video tutorial on 3 tiny food swaps that you can make to slice 20 pounds of body fat. And these 3 things are going to be so simple that you are probably going to think, why the fuck have I not done this before? So let's get stuck straight into it then. So the first food swap that I suggest that you look at is olive oil. Like, a lot of people cook with olive oil, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really change the taste very much of food. Yes, fair enough, whenever you're putting it on your salad and things like that, but when you're actually cooking with it, most of the time it doesn't really change the taste of the food. And there's a lot of hidden calories in olive oil that people don't realize, and most people as well, they don't even measure the olive oil. So they probably use a lot more than what I am going to be telling you here now. So 1 tablespoon of olive oil is 123 calories, which is a hell of a lot for just a bit of liquid on the end of a tablespoon. And as I say, these are hidden calories, so it's not really going to do too much to keep you feeling very full. And like I said as well, like it's not very tasty either at the end of the day. So 1 tablespoon is 123 calories, and as I said before, most people don't measure out they don't measure out a tablespoon of olive oil. So the average portion is probably around 2 tablespoons, or if you use a tablespoon per meal, you maybe use olive oil in your lunch and your dinner. And as well, if you're getting your breakfast maybe from a deli, the amount of olive oil and sunflower oil and all that sort of shit that is used in cooking all that sort of stuff is probably a hell of a lot more than just the 1 tablespoon of 123 calories. So I'm going to say here now, the average portion is around 2 tablespoons, which amounts to 246 calories. Now, as I said, that's based on maybe having a tablespoon with each meal, or with 2 meals in a day. And if you do that every day over the course of a year, that amounts to 89,790 calories, which is a hell of a lot of calories. And if you were to divide that number by 3,500 calories, which is a pound of body fat, then you would end up losing 25 pounds of body fat over the course of a year. So just making that simple swap, or just cutting out that olive oil, is going to help you to lose up to 25 pounds of body fat over the course of a year, which is just absolutely mind blowing. And as I would always say, small steps make for huge results. Making that small tweak in your diet is going to make for huge long term results. So the next food swap is lattes. Everyone likes their morning coffee. They stop off maybe at the shop on the way to work, or maybe they go into McDonald's drive-through and get themselves a latte in the morning time. And based on a large cup, a large takeaway cup, a latte is around 200 calories. That's based on a Costa latte, a large takeaway cup. And this is the reason that is because it is practically a full cup of milk, and most of the time they probably use full fat milk in that. So that is the reason why it's 200 calories. Now, again, just like the olive oil, it's a liquid-based substance, and liquid-based food, liquid-based energy source. And that means then that, once you drink that, it's not going to be very satisfying on your hunger needs. So in other words, 200, it'll be 200 calories pretty much wasted in my eyes. So again, based on having one large cup per day, that's only one cup, only one latte. That's going to amount to 73,000 calories over the year. And if you again divide that number by 3,500 calories, then you will end up with it being 20 pounds of fat. And again, that can be a small change, just cutting out lattes. I will show you alternatives that you can use instead, but just cutting out those lattes could save you up to around 20 pounds of body fat in a year, which is again absolutely mind blowing. So imagine if you were to cut out your olive oil and lattes. If you drink a latte, you could be saving yourself up to around 45 pounds of body fat over the course of a year. And it's just incredible making these small changes, how much of a result they can have in the long run. Now, the last one is our personal favorite, and everybody seems to use butter, whether it's obviously on toast, on bread or sandwiches, and even in food. And again, it's a thing that it's never really measured. I would have made the same mistake myself years ago. I would have just bucked a big slab of butter into meals, not even thinking that of the consequences, because I didn't have a clue. And again, this is another one of those hidden calories. Once it goes into the food, again, it'll maybe make it taste a little bit tastier, but is it really worth the calories in the end? So based on 30 grams of butter, and I actually tested it this morning because I made a slice of toast and put a pretty normal sized layer of butter on it, a thick enough layer, and it did amount to about 15 grams of butter. And I say that was me just scraping the butter onto the toast, and I would say 9 times out of 10 most people are probably putting a lot more on than that 15 grams that I had put on. So I put this based on having 2 slices of toast, because you never really have one slice. So 2 slices of toast and then a thick slice of butter on top. Or if you're having a sandwich, thick slice of butter across the sandwich, or as I say, adding it into your meal. So that's 223 calories per 30 grams of butter. And as I say, the average portion is around 2 thick spreads, and that is where I'm getting the 223 calories from. That's based on having this every day for a year. Over that time, it amounts to 81,395 calories over the course of the year, provided you're doing the two thick spreads. And again, dividing that number by 3,500, that's going to get you the amount of fat that is in pounds, and it amounts to 23 pounds of body fat. So again, just simply cutting butter out of your diet, you're going to save that amount of calories over the course of a year. And as I say, this is only 30 grams. Like, you maybe could be using a lot more than that. And as I say, it's hidden calories, and it doesn't really make the taste. It doesn't make it taste all that different. Like most people use the salted butter. Just add a little bit of extra salt, and you'll get that same taste. I know people like the texture of butter, melted into the toast, but at the end of the day, like, if you get used to it, you're still a dry piece of toast is still substantial. Whereas putting the butter on it, it's not going to really change the amount of volume you get into your body, because again, butter is one of those hidden substances, hidden foods that, it doesn't really change the state of your hunger. And as I say, if you cut that out off your diet, you're going to save a hell of a lot of body fat over that time. So over the year. So again, going back. So imagine cutting out olive oil, butter, and lattes out of your diet. Um, Over the course of a year, you could lose up to 68 pounds of body fat, which is just absolutely incredible. I think that works out to be about 5 or 6 stone, so it is a lot of weight that can be shifted when you make these small changes. And as I say, small changes make for huge long-term results. And there are many, many more changes that you can do in order to hit your goal body weight. So there's a few alternatives that you can use for each of the three foods that I have talked about. So number one is Fry Light, which is only 1 calorie per spray. So you can use this here instead of using olive oil. Tastes exactly the same, and it does the job of olive oil, and it's the same. It just makes your pan so that it's non-stick. But again, what I also would suggest is to have a really good, high quality non-stick frying pan. I myself, I have Le Creuset there, and I couldn't fault it. So I would highly recommend getting a Le Creuset pan. Now, again, they are that little bit more expensive, but you are guaranteed a lifetime with these pots and pans. And as I say, like, there's no fault, there's no stickiness to them whatsoever. There's nothing worse than using a pan that sticks, all the food sticks to. So I would highly recommend getting Le Creuset, and as I say, you get a lifetime guarantee. So if something goes wrong with it, then you can get a full exchange, which is absolutely fantastic. But I never had to use it. Okay, so on to the next one. Instead of having your latte in the morning, why not opt for a black coffee instead? There's only 1 calorie per cup of black coffee. And again, you're still going to get that caffeine hit. You're probably going to get more of a caffeine hit from your black coffee, and it tastes practically the same. Now, if you add milk to that, yes, the calories are going to increase. But if you want to, obviously make sure you weigh out the milk, and you can add that into your calories. But for me, I've changed the olive oil to Fry Light. I have changed my coffees from, well, I never really drank lattes. I always had coffee with milk. I've just taken the milk out of it, and you do get used to it eventually. And there's no looking back now. I do love a black coffee. And finally, then, for the likes of your sandwiches, or maybe having like the likes of bacon butties, etc., you could opt for the skinny sauce mayo. So it tastes practically like mayo. Now, it doesn't really taste like Hellmann's, but again, there's no calories in that proportion, so you're going to save a hell of a lot compared to having your butter, and you're still going to get that same taste. So there's a few alternatives that you can use for that. And as I say, there's a lot more alternatives that you can use for, or you can find for all different types of foods. So what I want you to do then is your action steps after listening to this here is to write out a food diary. So get a bit of paper, get a book, and write out your food for the week. Or if you are already tracking your calories using MyFitnessPal, have that all tracked then for the week, and have a look through the food. So action step number 2 is to look through the list of food that you have and identify what you can cut down on, these hidden calories, and swap them out for lower calorie alternatives. And as I say, they are hidden calories, and people tend not to maybe track the likes of olive oil or butter or their coffees. And these are the little calories, the little things that people miss out on. And this is probably where they're going wrong, when they think that, oh fuck, I don't eat so much, but these little hidden calories could be the thing that is causing them not to be hitting their goal weights. And then finally, once you identify the foods that you want to cut down on or cut out, or find lower calorie alternatives, implement these changes into your diet plan and just be consistent and patient, and then your results will come because of that there. So thank you very much, guys, for listening. Now, I have put a little link below here to book in a call. So if you would like to speak with me, we can go through, if you want to write out your food diary, we can go through your food for the week, and I can chat you through, what things you can change in your current diet plan and your current food consumption. We can identify, we can work through that together and see what we can cut down, see what we can cut out, and see what sort of lower calorie alternatives that you you can do to get you towards your goal. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed my video tutorial on 3 ways to slice 20 pounds of body fat, and hopefully we'll chat soon.